This is Lamont Payne in Phoenix, Arizona. He is standing trial for assaulting a corrections officer. As they tried to remove him from his cell, he allegedly bit the officer on the ankle. Now sitting beside him is his attorney, Vladimir Gadget. It appears in the video that Payne is trying to get Gadget's attention by tapping on the desk. At another point, he raised his hand and complained that he had been giving his lawyer your questions for potential jurors.
My lawyer ain't gonna speak up. It's plain and simple.
Sir?
I've been giving him questions. He won't speak up.
Sir, that's because it's not his turn to ask questions.
Shit, man, you gonna sell me out.
The judge seemed to have enough, then ordered Payne to be removed from the courtroom.
I keep telling you he's a problem.
Deputy, please move.
And this is where Payne takes matters into his own hands. The attorney reportedly filed assault charges. And for the defendant, court documents state Payne is no longer allowed to attend his own court hearings, and he will have to watch them remotely. This is Joshua Harding in Lansing, Michigan. He stands trial for 2 sexual assault charges. Standing over here is Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Jonathan Roth. Reportedly, Roth asked the court to consider his sentencing time on the higher end. Now, look very closely and watch what Harding is doing with his hands. You can see Harding grabbing something out of his sleeve. Suddenly, he makes a quick run at Roth, and whatever he is holding in this frame makes this now a very dangerous situation for Roth. Luckily, he was able to get out of the way just in time, and Detective Brian Cannon was able to hold Harding back. And with the help of 2 court deputies, Harding was taken to the ground. A spectator then appears to point something to Roth. It's a makeshift knife. Harding was sentenced to 20 to 60 years after he pleaded guilty to assault with intent to murder, which will be served consecutively to his 19-year sentence for the sexual assault. This is William Green in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Green was staying at a mental health facility until he was arrested for battery. Now at the Broward County Courthouse, standing here is defense attorney Julie Chase. Keep your eye on Green. He appears just to be sitting like everyone else in the room until he stands up and calmly walks up behind Chase, while she is representing another person. At this moment, Green does the complete unexpected. It shocked everyone in the room, and Chase can be seen grabbing the side of her head in pain. After a moment, officers apprehend Green, tackling him to the ground. Other defendants who had been awaiting their turn in front of the judge moved out of the way as officers scuffed Green, and eventually carried him out of the room. After the assault, Chase was taken to the hospital for treatment, and Green was taken to another mental health facility instead of jail. This is David Chiselton. He's at a sentencing hearing in Cleveland, Ohio. Reportedly, he pistol-whipped his girlfriend and held her hostage at gunpoint. He then set fire to an apartment complex. Standing on the other side of Chiselton is his attorney, Aaron Brockler. The judge is currently handing down a 47-year prison sentence to Chiselton for felony assault and aggravated arson. You can't hear the audio right now because the body cam hasn't been activated yet. It's hard to see Chiselton's reaction from this angle, but he turns his head back just for a moment, and in this second, he shows his frustration. He just attacked his own attorney.
Hey, yeah, you calm? Yeah. You know you messed up, right? You understand that, right?
The officers eventually get Chiselton under control, then is quickly removed from the courtroom. The lawyer suffered a broken nose and a concussion from the attack. In a situation like this, usually their hands are handcuffed behind their back, not in the front. And for Chiselton, aside from possibly facing more prison time, he'll be serving a 47-year prison sentence. This is Peter Hayward in Cynthiana, Kentucky. Hayward was arrested on charges of burglarizing a Kmart store. Right here is his lawyer, Doug Crickmer. Hayward told the judge he didn't trust his court-appointed lawyer and thinks he should get a better one.
I'm telling you, this ain't working. I'd rather have the prosecutor be my attorney than him. He'd probably give me a better trial.
When the judge then declined his request, Hayward took another route in getting himself a new attorney. Now keep your eye on Hayward and watch what he does next. Hayward just punched his own attorney as the chaos moves off the camera. The deputy soon gained control of Hayward. Crickmer was taken to the hospital for his injuries and reportedly did impress charges, but Hayward did get 6 months in jail for contempt of court, and it turns out his wish did come true. When he returned to court for the original burglary charges, he was appointed a new lawyer. This is Christopher Thiel in Seattle, Washington. He's accused of sexually assaulting a woman at a car dealership right after he followed her into the bathroom. He's in court for a competency hearing to determine if he is mentally fit to stand trial. The man standing to his right is his court-appointed lawyer, Reed Berklin. Everything seems calm, but then suddenly, Thiel punches his own attorney. For King County Sheriff deputies took Thiel down following the punch. While he is being removed from the room, you can see a spit hood was put over his head. Berklin seemed to be fine after the incident. He also withdrew from the case just a few hours after Thiel was later ordered to serve a sentence of 8.5 years to life, after being convicted of first-degree rape and unlawful imprisonment. This is Frank Hypolite just outside the King County Courthouse in Seattle, Washington. Now keep your eye on Hypolite as he's running down the sidewalk. He now slows down to walking speed. And next, the unexpected happens. The man who just got sucker punched is a defense attorney that was walking towards a courthouse entrance. He then stumbles into the fire hydrant. As Hypolite continues to engage, it forces the attorney onto the road. Just as the attack started, this transit bus pulled up and the bus driver hops out to help the attorney. Now, in a 2v1 situation, this attack seems to be over. But then suddenly the attacker went for both men, knocking them to the ground. A courthouse marshal came out of the building and got control of Hypolite. Reportedly, Frank Hypolite has been arrested 4 times in the last 2 months. The attack was also later reported to be random. Hypolite was charged with assault and his bail was set at $75,000. This is Michael Cox in Roswell, New Mexico. Cox was just convicted of criminal sexual contact with a minor. After the verdict was handed down, the judge called up attorneys from both sides. The man standing on the left is District Attorney Scott Key, who just assisted on Cox's conviction. When he's walking back, Cox takes a run at Key, pushing him to the ground. In this frame, you can see Cox swing at Key while he's down. If we rewind here, you can see Officer Catuz Smith opening the door just in time when the attack started. She acts quickly and gets Cox to the floor. When Key gets back up on his feet, he goes back in for some payback. The judge then gets out of his seat and runs to the chaos and orders everyone out of the room. Cox was sentenced to 18 years in prison for crime sexual contact with a minor. And his additional sentence of 6.5 years in prison for battery will run consecutively.